Hello. This lecture is on Ise Monogatari, translated The Tales of Ise or Ise Stories. During this series of videos, I will address some of these questions. What is it about? What form is it in? In other words, when the same poem is found in other books, how does it compare? We'll also look at the protagonist or main character, who is known in the story as just a man or an old man, but who has become associated with Ariwara no Narihira. We'll also think about the title and why in English it's translated as Tales of Genji in the plural and not in the singular as with the tale of Genji. Also, using the introduction from today's handout from the Ise stories translated by Joshua Mustow and Royal Tyler, we'll think about when it was written. And also I'll share some examples of how and why Ise Monogatari has been important to Japanese literature. The Ise Monogatari is a loose collection of 125 utagatari, or poem tales. If we compare to poetry anthologies, such as the Kokinshu, we see that it's common to have a preface or kotobagaki above the poem that then explains the context of the poem's composition. It might tell us who wrote it, when they wrote it, and why they wrote it. In the case of the Ise Monogatari, the introduction to each poem becomes longer, like a story. The stories in the collection are associated with Ariwara no Narihira from the 9th century, who is famous as a lover poet. The poems in the collection are attributed to him, but there are other poems that elsewhere are recorded as anonymous or Yomibito Shirazu poems, but which are attributed to Narihira in this collection. And these tales seem to be arranged according to the life of the main character. Section 1 is about his youth, and we see right away that he has many love affairs. Some of these get him into trouble, and after he's had affairs with people that he shouldn't have had affairs with, he's forced to leave the capital because of his transgressions or sins. He goes to the east, to Azuma, which is what we see in the reading for today in section 9. Eventually, he comes back to the capital. It's not exactly clear when this happens. Some commentators see this as happening in section 17. But then we see many more of his everyday encounters through each of the different sections. And then in section 125, we see a poem composed on the poet's death. In the next video, we'll take a look at a few of the episodes beginning with section 1.